Guys, how's it going out there today? I hope you're having a great one. My name is Garrett. Welcome to the channel. And if you're new here, I shoot reviews and tutorials with camera gear and accessories that I use every single day. And happy 2021, by the way. I know it's been a crazy one so far, but today we're going to try to take our minds off of everything going on because we're going to talk about the Canon R6 and more specifically my experience using the Canon R6 for a music video. Now, I've got some example footage that we're going to pull up into the computer, really show you guys how I graded the R6 footage. This was shot for a couple of friends of ours. They wrote a country music song, wanted a video for it, and we were much obliged to shoot that for them. Now, I rented the R6 for 3 days, but we only got one solid day of shooting with it. So these grades and my experience with the R6 literally come from 1 day of use. So take my opinions with a grain of salt. I do want to say this, the R6 straight out of the box is a great shooter, especially for video. Now, we've not used it for photo. I think we shot a thumbnail and that was really the only photos that we took with the R6. But as far as video goes, this is where my experience is going to come from. And without further ado, let's hop into the computer and see how I graded this footage. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do, I've got 4 clips pulled up here. I've got one that I tested in my office the day before the shoot. I've got a couple of different lighting situations here, really just 3 different lighting situations. We've got the office, we've got a backlit situation. We actually didn't use any lighting for this scene right here. We just backlit it with the window there. These were obviously lit shots. We wanted it to look like a stage. And then this was all outdoor light. So a couple different situations for the R6. One of the things that I really wanted to put to the test with the R6 was noise. I know with my EOS R, one of the biggest gripes that I have with it is the shadow noise is absolutely annoying whenever I'm shooting in low light situations. So obviously with these 2 shots right here, we have some low light. And then the backlit window situation obviously is low light as well. And then this was just lit, like we said, in my office. Now, one thing that I did want to go ahead and tackle, a lot of people's complaints with the R6 are that it shoots a little bit warm, and I can actually confirm this. I think I shot this at 5200 Kelvin, and this is pretty warm. I mean, it still looks good, don't get me wrong. It just shoots a little warmer than I typically like, but let's go ahead and throw an adjustment layer over everything. And one thing that we're going to do first is we're going to convert this footage to Rec 709 using one of my favorite LUTs. It is a LUT that mimics the Airy look, the Airy Alexa. So let's go to Creative, go to Alexa Rec 709. Now, we're going to have to work with this a little bit. Obviously, this LUT's powerful, so we're going to dial that back just a tad. Go 50% on that. If we go to our scopes, already the footage is looking pretty good. Still have some room to work with it. I like where my face is sitting there on the waveform. Let's go ahead though, and let me separate this adjustment layer. Let's go to our color wheels and match. Let's pull the shadows down. Get a little bit more contrast. Pull the midtones up, just so that we keep the face nice and exposed the way that we want it to. And I'm stretching this footage pretty far just to show you guys exactly what can be done with it. So let's go pull the blacks down, right, almost to 0. There we go. And honestly, now we can start messing with the white balance. It's a little warm for my liking, so I'm going to dial that back. And that right there is a complete image as far as my mind is concerned for the office setting. So we went from, if we turn our adjustment layer off, there's our log footage. Like I said, a little bit warm, some adjustments, and literally it's a beautiful image right out of the box. And once again, the noise coming from the R6 is very minimal. You can see it right there. It's going to show a little bit more obviously with YouTube's compression and everything, but that image is super clean, and the noise that it does have is pretty pleasing. It's not pixelating or anything like that. So let's go ahead and mess with these other clips. I'm going to do the same thing. We've already got this one converted now with our Alexa LUT. So really with this image, same thing, guys. I'm just going to pull the shadows down some. Let's go to the color wheels, pull those shadows down, kind of mess with our blacks, make those dark. And with this shot, our white balance I was pretty pleased with. I mean, obviously we've got some flexibility. If we want to warm it up, we can warm it up. But if we look at our scopes right here, and I'm just doing these pretty quickly, but we're pretty even with our highlight colors there. We go to the parade, also pretty even with everything. Maybe a little blue. Bring that back. Yeah, so like I said, pretty complete image there as well. And like I said, the noise from the R6 is almost non-existent, and this was a dark room. I mean, we had no light inside of this cabin. We just were lighting with the window. So very pleased with that. The R6's noise performance is leaps and bounds ahead of the EOS R, and it has a lot to do with that 20 megapixel sensor. Obviously, the lower the pixel count, the bigger those pixels are, which means you're gonna have a better low light performer. And the R6 is no slouch in the low light department. I think that's a good looking image. On to the next. Once again, very dark scene. We did light this, obviously, I think with the GODOX PL60 watt, which is one of my favorites. And once again, this is converted now with the Alexa LUT. And we can go up here, bring our blacks down, just about to 0. Go to our color wheels, bring those shadows down to our liking. Right about there. And once again, skin tones I'm happy with. They're right there in the 70 IRE range. Not much really else to do with this footage. I mean, we can cool it if we want to. We can warm it up some if we want to. That's all a stylistic choice, but right out of the box, let's cool that down just a little bit. Right out of the box, once again, image is fantastic. And that's really one of the reasons we rented the R6 was I had heard of the great low light performance, wanted to test it out for ourselves, and it did not disappoint. We were very pleased with how this music video turned out. Also, big shout out to Eric Reeves for letting us shoot this video for him. It's going to be a good one. Pretty excited about it. Let's go to the next clip. This is actually Eric on the piano. Once again, very dark scene. We have a top light coming down just straight on, or straight over top of him. Backlit really with just a young NEEWER RGB stick set to teal. So you have a really nice color contrast here with the teal and obviously the orange from his skin tones, orange from the piano. And once again, this image, very good looking right out of the box. There's our log image. There is the Rec 709 conversion. And if we go over here to our waveform, and pull those blacks just a little, right about there. Now pull those blacks, come over to our color wheels, mess with our shadows a little bit. Yep. Once again, I'm liking where the skin is sitting here. We're right between 60 and 70. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, there is not much to do with this footage. And like I said, obviously, this is a quick grade. It's a little saturated there on his face with the orange. Probably dial that back a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that is what, once again, I would call a complete simple grade. As far as that goes, this footage really grades nicely. I'm going to do this one without the LUT. So let's go ahead and disable the LUT. And a lot of people will do this to log footage anyways. I personally like to convert it first. If you just adjust saturation and contrast, you're not really de-logging the log footage, but a lot of people still do this, and you can still get some pretty good results from it. So let's go ahead, bring our blacks down. Go ahead and bring highlights up some, get some contrast going. Actually can bring those way up. We shot this a little dark. Go down to our color wheels, bring shadows down, get some good contrast in there. Midtones, I'm liking where those are with Richard's face, so we're gonna leave that for the most part. And let's see here, what else can we do? Go to our curves, add just a simple S curve. And like I said, this is just quick as quick can be with color grading, but I want you guys to see how easy it is to get a good looking image from the R6. So that was before and after the curve, and maybe add some vignette. Yeah, and so this is the before. There's log, there is a contrast and saturation added. Really not much to do with color. I'm pretty pleased with the white balance there. Maybe warm it up a little bit since we did shoot this right in the afternoon. Yeah, a little bit of magenta, and there we go. Once again, log footage graded nicely. No LUT, just saturation, contrast added. I mean, you can throw the saturation to this. yeah, very pleasing. I'm digging that. So like I said, R6 footage grades up very nicely. So like I said, that was a quick color grade with the R6 for the music video that we shot. Nothing scientific, nothing in depth. I just wanted to show you guys really an initial impression of the R6. The footage grades up so easily, especially when you use a really good Rec. 709 conversion LUT. I don't recommend the one from Canon. I don't even use it on my EOS R, even though it is built for the R. I really find it to be too hot. So find a good Rec. 709 conversion LUT. That's really the key to it when it comes to converting that C-Log footage, which C-Log is very easy to work with anyways. As you can see, you really don't have to do a lot with the footage unless you start adding some stylistic choices, but that was just something simple to show you guys once again how easy it is to grade that. And with that being said, I want to know your thoughts on the R6. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you plan on picking one up? I personally believe that for video, if you are a video first shooter, the R6 is a great option. Even if you're a photo first person, I think the R6 is a good choice. And who knows, I might pick one up in the future for our video ventures. Not sure yet. There's still so many options out there with the C70, obviously the R5, but I think the R6 is a good alternative to anything, especially at the price point. So like I said, let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next.